Omicron is here, but do not panic. Today we'll discuss the variant that you should be worried about. Thank you for watching. My name is Glen Morgan, and this is We the Governed. And as always, I am reporting from Washington State, the state with the endless emergency, where the lockdowns never end, and usually the panic button gets pushed on a regular basis as new emergency orders come out of Governor Inslee's office. And I want to make a point of giving this trigger warning to all my listeners and viewers out there that nothing I have said or will say in this video has been approved by the Ministry of COVID Compliance. And unlike most of the videos that I've done recently, I'll actually discuss COVID and all of its scary implications in our state. So specifically, as I mentioned earlier, Omicron is here. And this, of course, is the variant, the latest variant that has been in the news. And just like Joe Biden's teleprompter told us recently, do not panic. I completely support that. Do not panic. And something people should be aware of as each new variant gets discovered and pushed and named and given kind of cool and scary sounding descriptions, we are in a certain process right now that most people should be aware of. And this is good to know about because the COVID hamster wheel process that we are on is not going to end anytime soon. We've been into this for about 19 months or so, and 2 weeks to flatten the curve has become an endless opportunity to come up with a basic process that's as predictable as the sun rising tomorrow. And every time we get a new variant like Omicron or Delta or some other cool name, that we're going to discover new cases that people get on this new variant. And of course, they'll have to require us to have more so-called temporary restrictions. It won't be that temporary, just like 2 weeks to flatten the curve has become almost 2 years. And then, of course, that's going to require the only solution that has ever existed on this planet, and that is vaccines and boosters, and endless vaccines and boosters, and the pharmaceutical industry and the healthcare system that supports it, and more importantly, the big government guys who seem to really enjoy the power they get from these lockdowns and rules will be pushing their solutions, because none of those solutions involve your freedom or liberty. And then after a while, they'll probably have some slight easing of restrictions, and then we'll have a new one come along. So that's the process that we're in, and if you want to get off this hamster wheel, you're going to have to start speaking up or pushing back. Or we're going to have to rely on the fact that maybe at some point in time, somebody in government's going to realize that the hamster wheel game isn't impressing anybody anymore. But right now, we're in the full excitement mode going into the holidays, and there's no better time to discover a new variant than right now, and Omicron is going to be it. When you are somebody like Governor Inslee, this is a tremendous opportunity for you to justify whatever foolish regulations and rules that you want to push and impose on the people who live in your state. And additionally, it's also kind of a great distraction as you're getting ready to go into a new legislative session and you have all kinds of new taxes and regulations that you want to push through and push into the people who live there, because the last thing you want them to do is know what you're really doing. So let's distract with a new, cool-sounding name for a variant, the COVID-19 disease that will never end and the pandemic that never ends. So there's a lot of reasons for doing this. Now, not everything is as bleak as I make it sound. This has really become an amazing opportunity in America to learn another alphabet, the Greek alphabet specifically. Outside of those who attended maybe a fraternity or a sorority, you may be quite ignorant about the Greek alphabet, and the ability to learn a new language, even if it's just the alphabet of that language, would probably be a big step up in education, especially for those who've experienced Common Core in the public education system. And right now, just in case you aren't familiar, we are right in the middle of that alphabet. Omicron is right in the middle. It's very exciting, and it's really given us an ability to be exposed to a whole bunch of new Greek letters. And maybe it'll be Pi next and Sigma. We got all kinds of opportunities moving forward. However, this gives us also the roadmap that we're traveling down on the COVID-19 endless lockdown and emergency hamster wheel. This is the one you need to be worried about. It's the Omega death variant. I guarantee you this one's coming. It's a cool sounding name. It's at the very end of the Greek alphabet, and therefore, since public health care has largely been divorced from science or anything other than the coolness of Greek alphabet letters and the ability to justify all kinds of extreme ways of preventing you from having any choice over your body or your choice, because that's not really yours anymore. And also the ability to actually hype up something under a cool sounding name. This is really a neat opportunity. So Omega is coming, I promise you, and that's the variant to watch out for, because it's got a cool sounding name and it's at the very end of the Greek letter, the Greek alphabet. I'm sure that whatever variant is attached to that, that's going to be the scary one. So that's the one you should be prepared for. Omega, anything up until Omega, don't worry about it. So the Sigma, any of these other ones, don't worry. I'm sure they're coming, but you won't have to worry about them. It's going to be the Omega one that they're going to be throwing everything in the kitchen sink at us for. So if you want to learn more and understand why nothing I say here has ever been approved by Inslee's Ministry of COVID Compliance, please feel free to go to our website at We the Governed down below. You can also subscribe and share this video with others. And I encourage you to become more aware about what's going on in your community. The one thing that we always say here at We the Governed is if you want to make a difference, you want to make an impact, you're going to have to show up, because the future belongs to those who show up.